The tail is a little different. That one's gonna take some time. But the sun's right here, so you can kinda, pretty much guess. So if the sun is overhead like that, you're probably gonna shadow a lot right here. And if you have a tail, if you do a picture with a tail like this, you're gonna need to have it's gonna need to go up a little on that part. So it turns out kind of like that for the sun. Although, still think I might need to add a bit more shadows. Make sure your shadows kind of curve a lot too. That adds more of a look. Do you see how all this is curved and everything? Yeah. Now with this is pretty fun. You can I mostly just kind of screw around with the shadows on a tail, because a big fluffy tail is really fun to draw and shadow in. Yeah, I love the big fluffy tails. So, I kind of goof around with that, but see, that probably wouldn't work. But your main idea is you kind of want to get it small shadows back here, and then get it bigger and bigger and bigger. And you'll see more of that when I get the gold in there. And most of this back here, all of this back here, it's going to get more shadowed because it's away from the sun, and right here is going to be less shadowed, but I kind of goof around with that a lot. So, and we're just going to fill that in. So, you can kind of goof around with the tail, but I like to do stuff like that. And the back leg. Okay, so the back leg, you can do it however you like. You can shadow it completely like this, but I don't like to do that because the sun is overhead in an angle. So I like to leave some of the back leg with light. Yeah. And I'm gonna have to fix that, but yeah. And yeah, I like to do something like that. Alright, so now that the brown shading is done, we're going to go back and add some light brown to the parts that need it. Because most of this looks kind of goofy completely covered. So I'm going to take this little pick color, or you can choose from down on the menu, and I'm going to right click on the brown, and then left click on the dark brown. So now the light brown goes on top of the brown. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to fix that jacked up shoulder that I managed to screw up, and I'm going to add a little bit more brown since it's more facing the sun. And I also like to doodle around with this a little, make that smaller, kind of give some more light to this. So see, it looks a little better. You just kind of goof around with that. And I'm also going to fix this back leg because it needs to be more of a angled kind of light. And I'm going to fix that. Now, you have the light brown on, you see? So what I really like to do is I like to come back, and when the whole side of the face is shadowed, I like to take some light brown and just add some more brown in there because it's too shadowed. It's like, if you watch anime, you'll see a lot of shadows. Well, they'll have it, there's triangles or whatever on the side of the face. And see, that makes it look a lot better because not this whole side is covered anymore. And, it has a little bit of light, and it actually, that little bit of light makes it look like your animal has some sort of animal, human, whatever, has some sort of cheek structure right there under the eye. And I'm also going to go in around the muzzle, the nose, and I'm going to add a little bit of light right there because that just makes it look better. And I'm going to fix that. Okay, so that's all the brown shadows, and I might add a hint of it up here because of just how goofy it looks with it all shadowed. I don't know, you're just gonna have to screw around with stuff like that. And no, that looks completely ridiculous, so I'm gonna take that off. Alright, now on to the yellow. You're gonna want to double click on that color and click define custom colors and make it really, really dark again. Not so dark that if the colors are close they'll blend with each other, but you know, close enough to where it's darker but it's still noticeable. So I'm gonna bring it down around here. I'm gonna add the custom colors. I'm gonna right click on the start color and then left click on the slight color. Now this is fun. I like doing stuff like this. I'm going to do the hair first. The hair is really, it all depends on how you want it. You can do it like this, or you can do it all fun and crazy like I do. I like to do it all fun and crazy. So, the hair is different. The hair doesn't really, it doesn't have to match this shadow right here. It can be anywhere from right here, to way down here, to way down here, and that color's enough. Let me fix that. Color has to be really dark. Alright. There we go, that's dark enough. Okay. Yeah, and you gotta watch out with that purple too. You know, if you have different colors like that. And I don't know, I'll see how this works. And I think I need to add a little bit more shadows. No, I went a little bit overboard with that. Yeah, see, you never know. Alright, so that's done. I'm gonna move over to the tail, one of my favorite parts. And with the tail, I like to go, like I said, I like to go a bit crazy. So if this turns out looking really goofy or really crazy, you know, I just like it like that. So this shadowing the shadowing in the tail might not make sense, but you know, it makes the picture look good, so who cares? So you start where the others, you start where the other brown is, the dark brown. And you see how there's a line right here? That line is supposed to meet up with the very tip of the tail. And I like to make my shadows kind of bend and go into that. To where, you know, it has a nice kind of floaty look. So you do something like that, which is still too much, you know, it'll look kind of floaty. And I'm going to change that. You know, I still like the floatiness, but some of the floaty has to go away. I still want to keep it bent, though. And I'm going to fix that brown shadow. And there we go, floaty tail. Woohoo!